By pressing play, you've been transported to escape velocity, where the random and ridiculous thoughts expressed here do not reflect the views of the store or the employees. There will be no apologies for the things said today by your hosts and their guests. With that being said, enjoy the experience. Yo guys, guess what?
We back, y'all.
Yes. If you hit play on this episode, then you know what it is. It's episode 11 of Yo, Where the Caption's At. Yo, Where the Caption's At. Guess what? We back. Guess what? We back. And guess what? Also, we fucking black. And guess what? A fact. Where the good cops at? Cause evidently they ain't been here for a while. Cause that's why we protesters in these streets like a child that ain't been heard. So we flipping cars, burning shit all on the curb. Word. You think you ain't hearing this shit spit? But guess what? It's time to be legit, not time to be cool. But if you choose to be a fool, you need to use the tool of your freedom of speech and make sure the words get the ears they need to reach, like they Reed Richards. Yeah, that shit be fantastic. But guess what? We tired of these black bodies be wrapping up in bags of plastic for no reason. Got to tell the police that. Guess what? We need to take the streets back. Yeah, we is here, and guess who I am? Kels for show, aka Pop, and with me always is my bro host.
The Ovid to his Troy. I did not approve of that, but it's Roscoe.
And joining us today is one of our official co-hosts, our guest host, is the boy Cris with no H.
That's right, man.
Yes, and funny thing about that shit, what used to have me like perplexed for no reason, like every time I went to search for you on Facebook to tag you on some shit, or look for your number on my phone, always
this
put
motherfucker got me blocked, little
I'm
bitch.
like, what the fuck? I know how to spell Cris, and then one day it finally clicked. We're like, oh shit, this nigga ain't got no H in his name.
Yeah,
it's a C-R-I-S.
That first H stands for homosexual, and I am not against him, but that is not me.
Really good back pedal on that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I know how to cover my ground.
Word.
I gotta go multiple directions.
Hey, as long as you stand your ground.
I don't stand my ground. I keep moving, bro. That's how they don't get me.
As long as you stand your ground respectfully and honestly, I have no problem with you doing what you gotta do. We all here to live, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is our first episode back from coronavirus. And always here to make sure we're in the clear is this boy Daniel Rojas. Was wearing a rojo camisa right now with a star on it. Camisa is shirt in Spanish for y'all didn't know that. Little education. I picked some shit up during this quarantine.
Did you say it right?
Yeah. Camisa?
Why y'all looking at me?
Oh.
I was thinking, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at you. I don't think that's why my mom ever said it.
It got really quiet and everyone just kind of looked at me.
I'm a gringo, so I don't know how to pronounce a lot of words inherently.
You're not a gringo. I'll tell you
I am
that.
a gringo. I'm a negro gringo.
Yeah.
But when I try to dance the bachata and the Latin chick, like, you move like a gringo, I'm like, I know what that means, shorty, and that disrespects my legacy. You don't know what I'm doing the dance for. I'm blading in these streets.
No.
Anyway, hi.
Yeah. And like we said, we back. You know, quarantine has been an interesting time period in all our lives, pretty much like yours. Like, we've been trying to get shit done, but, you know, some things don't work out accordingly. We recorded an episode, Biden Phil, to Keen, like Katie about that shit. So just like an episode of Riverdale, we had to dash something in that shit. And we did that. So now we're coming back in full effect.
Full effect.
Yes, like 88's back.
It was kind of like a practice round for you guys just to get back in the groove.
Just like how Michael Jordan season when he was wearing a 45 after he was playing baseball, he came back, tried to get back in the groove, wasn't at that championship level. We did an episode, like, I ain't like that. But guess now.
We were in that 23 again.
Weird fact, but last night I had a dream that was it's always sunny, but we were watching Michael Jordan play baseball. In his
so it's always cloudy.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, we were having a good time.
Forever, bro. It's all about heart.
Yes. Earth, wind, fire, and water.
Like Kiyoshi.
Yo. Yeah, because she's the avatar. Yes. And first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way. Condolences go out to everybody that lost anybody during this pandemic. Like, that shit sucks. I'm not going to get into the whole conspiracy thoughts I have about it. But, like, if you try to be safe, you try to distance, kudos to you. If you didn't because you didn't want to, hey, it's your life, live it. We on this earth together. One day it's going to end. As long as we ain't there, it is what it is. But until then, do the best you can to be a good human being. Love each other. So hopefully that's what you're doing. You went out there unless you had to be out there, because some people are essential, and some people like myself, I had to be out there in the quote unquote front lines, which it is what it is.
You're a hero.
Well, that goes without saying.
I wish I was essential during this time. There was a lot of downtime.
You're essential to us.
Thank you guys.
You're very welcome. And
Kelsey
also,
doesn't speak for everyone.
These guys brought me. Oh shit! Damn.
No. By us, I mean
I
my.
use my biggest fan.
No. By us, I mean my 23 different personalities. Patricia, what up, girl?
Hey man, I take
That's
whatever
a
fans I can get. I don't care if
personality.
it's the same person.
Word. That's true. That is true.
I'll take all 38 profiles.
Hey, yo, sometimes you gotta get that new free membership trial.
I think you're catfishing me, but I'm catfishing you.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Who gonna bite?
I'm gonna show you how.
Who gonna
brutal-
bite? Who gonna bite? Put that hook in them. No Peter Pan. I'm always fly because I never land. That's what they call me.
Oh
You're
no.
worse.
You the worst. You the worst. It's not the first time I heard
I
that.
hope you
either.
didn't use that twice.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, I haven't. I use that shit thrice. 6 pence none the richer. Then I just tell the girl to kiss me, and it is what it is.
Yes, Chris. All his Spanish.
I'm glad you're on.
No, that's not even Spanish. That's late 90s.
Let's get back on.
No, that is the topic. That's late 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
She can't hardly wait.
I thought it was, she's all that.
It was in both.
yeah, she's all that, and it's can't hardly wait. Not she can't hardly wait.
Yo, she couldn't wait.
The main character was a guy.
No, she couldn't.
No,
But he wanted to do it though after he.
She couldn't
after
wait.
he got
No,
that
you-
bed
you know,
and
you're-
changed her. No, never. She's on
What
that.
movie are we talking about?
She can't hardly wait.
it's not called she can't hardly
Wait, no.
Yeah, I think we're mixing like
Can't hardly-
7 rom-coms from our fucking teenage years.
Can't hardly wait. Starred Jennifer
Love Hewitt.
Love Hewitt.
She was
And-
in 3 scenes.
And she's all that. Starred Rachel Lee Cook and the boy Freddie Prinze Jr.,
Yeah.
Usher, and Lil' Kim,
Oh,
and R.I.P. to Paul
Oh,
Walker,
shit.
and Gus was in that, and
Oh,
Gabrielle
shit.
Union was in that shit.
Oh,
'Cause I watched it a
shit.
couple weeks
You
ago.
know,
with the girl
all those
Holly.
people you just listed were pretty much all in the same movies throughout.
Exactly.
You know, I don't want to say our childhood, our puberty time.
Well, there was a time where there was a whole group called the Brat Pack,
Yes, we're familiar.
and yeah,
Oh man, enlighten me.
you may not know this, Chris.
What don't he know?
I'm just a young baby.
Look at you. You're all clean shaven today. I can't tell.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
This is why I don't shave.
Temptation Island.
And it consisted of Sammy Davis Jr.
Whoa,
Frank
no,
Sinatra.
that's the Rat Pack.
No.
No, you said the Brat
they
Pack.
sound the same.
Wait, did you say Rat or
Said
Brat?
Brat.
He said
Brat
Brad, but
with a
he-
Brie? B?
Yeah.
With a Brie? Red Brie Larson? And somebody just could tell, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
We don't like Captain Marvel.
I do.
We do, but we don't.
it wasn't great, but it's not as bad as you make it.
Yeah, seriously, it's an origin movie.
It's not that great, but she was supposed to leave.
No one said it. What?
That's what they said. But don't do that, baby.
People that had high expectations for that movie deserve to be disappointed.
Exactly. The studio heads, Feige, came out the window talking about, don't look at me, Dan. Like he didn't say, she's going to be the future. She's going to lead the Avengers.
He
We got
did.
big plans for her.
She took off in the Civil War II comic book, so there was some reasoning behind
She
it.
took off in the wrong directions.
Well, no shit, but that was
How
part
y'all
of her.
kill Robert Downey Jr. in the book?
But she became.
You killed Robert. We all love Iron Man because of Robert, and you killed him.
Was it him though, or was it somebody else?
No, it was him.
It was like someone that went,
In that
He
AI.
broke him like, here, I'll split my sandwich with you.
Man, no.
Here's your half.
Then he was like, you remember that one time
I'll
we...
give you the meaty bit.
And then he was on the bench where talking about, you remember that one time we smashed? Like, Tony, we was both raging alcoholics. You came at me while we were in an AA meeting, and yes, we had sex. Don't do that. He was like,
Drunk
well,
sex
I already
don't
did do that. He was like, I already did do that, girl. So what up? Anywho,
Want to do sex again?
that's my bad. Because the only thing you don't do is say no. I'm like, all right. Take my bag, and I'm going home.
On to the next one.
Yes. So we started off trying to be serious, but it's hard to be serious when
No,
there's so
right- no,
much
right
dark
now-
shit in the world
Yeah,
right
we
now.
need to be happy and laughing. This shit fucking
Exactly.
sucks.
Exactly.
We don't need to dwell on all the. There's more than just fucking Corona bullshit going on.
Yes, and I will talk about that at the end of the podcast. I was going to try to get out the way early so we could get to the hee-hees and ha-has.
No,
But guess
let's
what?
do all the hee-hee ha-has first. Let's get
But
that
guess
out the
what?
way.
We already here
Why don't you save the hee-hee-haws till the end so that way you don't end on such a...
on La La Land.
Because
No.
all we wanted, we gotta be stuck. We want you to be in an existential crisis when you hear this,
And once again,
but not a bad one.
it never ends.
I mean, they're all bad, but fuck.
It never ends. We're going to end up talking about this shit again, which is the sad point.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're going to talk about what's popping. And there's been a lot of things that have been popping in the world of geekdom since the shutdown has went down. I've been making a lot of lists and topics to talk about. So I'm definitely not even going to get close to all the shit that has went down.
But can we talk about
Say
the
that,
best one of all?
But I'm going to start off with a little piece of wrestling news. Becky Lynch, a female WWE champion, Raw, correct, Ross? So
Yes,
she has the
Raw.
Universal title, correct? Women's title.
Just the Raw Women's title.
So the Raw Women's title, she has that, and she had to relinquish that due to her pregnancy. And it's always important when any female is pregnant and bringing new life into this world, because that's the most precious gift that we can have. And what makes that even more prominent in news right now is because she's been rumored to have a future role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we all were speculating about which role she could play. But now with that pregnancy coming up, will she even get that role, since they would have to sideline her due to that? Or is a role that non-essential that she could be in it and still be pregnant at the same time? So that's a thought that's been going through the minds of a lot of comic people.
Sorry. What if her role is like so far in the future because they pushed the timeline back that it necessarily could work around her pregnancy?
And that's a possibility too, because we don't know what the role is or when they were even going to be shooting. So like you said, that could all make sense.
Because we're projected to what, like 2026 now or something crazy like that. Like,
Well, from what I just also heard, aren't we supposed to get half seasons of WandaVision and Steve and Hawk?
Falcon and Winter. Oh no, those seasons are already shot and finished. So we're gonna get them. Maybe we still getting Winter and Winter Soldier and the Falcon the same time. WandaVision was already pushed back a little bit further. The thing is about Loki and everything post that. But WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier should be coming on time still, just like Mandalorian season 2, because they had that already mostly shot. So it's all about what's going to come afterward. Like, for example, Eternals got pushed back, even though it was already shot and filmed. Everything's good to go. They just want to get that marketing, that theatrical money.
How do you guys feel about them adding all the Star Wars characters into Mandalorian Season 2?
I don't give a fuck because I really don't care that much about Star Wars. It just give me more incentive to watch, which I already was going to do. But now I'm like, okay, cool. Rosario Dawson here. Who was it that got to play one of Django's old buddy from?
She's one of the Mandalorians, bounty. Like I think she's a bounty hunter, but she's from the Clone Wars and the extended universe.
I know who Ahsoka is. Sorry if I mispronounced her name, but Ahsoka being played by Rosario Dawson.
That's Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka.
I'm talking about the Mandalorian woman that.
Most of the characters that are going to be in the Mandalorian are from the Clone Wars.
Yes,
if I'm correct, and I'm a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan. I don't say die hard. I really don't want to say this. I have not watched Clone Wars.
That's fair.
Because me, as the Star Wars fan, I was like, oh, these cartoons are fucking it up. But I remember the Genndy Tartakovsky one, so that kind of like threw me off to not want to watch the CGI version.
You absolutely should, though.
Yeah, come to find out, the CGI version is supposedly super worthy and part of the lore. And I have actually started it. I am only on season 2. Don't judge me.
No, it's understandable because the first season is kind of hard to get through. And even some of season 2 where you're like, okay, that was a filler Jar Jar episode.
Yeah, why did I? It's anime-esque though, so I could deal with the fillers. Like I know that's part of life now.
Yeah, and that's why.
Life.
And that's how I started to get more into Star Wars with the Genndy Tartakovsky, the Genndy version of the Clone Wars cartoon. Because like, yo, he gave me Samurai Jack. He know how to do action. I like action. I wasn't into Star Wars for the politicity or the politics and all that other shit. I just want to see space samurais with laser swords fight each other and win. So when that cartoon came out back in the day, I was like, all right, cool. But then it stopped. But then it got read down out of the canon.
But you mainly followed it because you knew Genndy Tartakovsky and you liked his core work.
Exactly. So,
and sad to say, Clone Wars, his version of it is like probably his worst shit.
That's everybody's tired to be on. I love that shit. That gave me one of my favorite Jedi's too. Like, oh, he's a squid nigga. All right, you doing all the water shit. Cool. I love all the underwater shit. Even though I don't fuck with the water, but visually that shit was dope. But and Max one dude got to be a badass.
Yeah, well, I believe he's in more stuff than just the Genndy Tartakovsky version of, because he stuck very true to what was already in the Star Wars folks, the story that is Star Wars. I mean, it's
exactly. And the chick that's playing the female Mandalorian, that's Kate. Her last name is Kate, maybe from Battlestar Galactica.
Starbuck. Right?
Starbuck, yeah. She was in the Riddick movie. But yeah, she's from Battlestar Galactica. She's going to be doing that. Then old buddy from, what's the name of the TV show? Like, not Lone Ranger, but Lone Star. He's playing, he's going to be Boba Fett in one of the episodes.
Oh, who was it?
Oh, shit. He was like the Lone Ranger or the sheriff in the town.
No, it's also the guy who was the...
He was in the movie with Tina Fey and he was the brother.
He's also Jango Fett.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He's playing Jango Fett.
Jango Fett is playing Boba Fett. The guy who played Jango Fett and was all the clones.
No, there's another one.
He's the one that's going to play Boba in Mandalorian.
Yes. Well, there's another one because they don't have multiple actors doing it. Yeah, it's Justified. The dude from Justified. He's going to be one of the people portraying Boba underneath the helmet.
I thought he was already in season 1 as a character.
Well, he could have been, but it was
Timothy Oliphant.
But it's all
talking about.
Yeah, but it's all helmet, so he's going to come back.
Well,
just like
all
Kevin
Mandalorians
Smith.
are all helmet.
Exactly. So they could keep back playing different Mandalorians. Like Kevin Smith was in the movie too, but we don't know because they all wear massive space. But yeah.
Well, the right people know. We just
don't know the right people.
Well, we just know it's that guy in the back.
Exactly, and that's the Mandalorian shit. That shit's coming. I can't wait for that shit.
That's a good thing about Mask. He could be anybody.
Exactly, and then that's the bad things about Mask too. You can beat anybody. Go Cobra. And
what the fuck?
Let's go Joe,
it's
bro.
Go Joe, bro.
No, it's Cobra.
Cobra Commander, he's saying.
They wear masks.
Yo, even in my old age, Cobra is still evil.
Yeah, until they're right.
You can talk about the TV show Masks.
Yeah.
The old cartoon where they were the good guys that wore masks.
There's bootleg, they semi-level transform their cars
turn into planes
and other things. But
their vehicles were bi-vehicles. They had multiple forms.
Their masks kept them unidentified for the work they were doing.
Their masks allowed them to operate their vehicles.
Exactly. And why did they need said vehicles?
Because the mask gave it to them.
Why do they need that?
Because they're fighting crime and terrorism and stuff,
Who
bro.
said that was the crime?
It was masks were supposed to be like Transformers and G.I. Joe had sex. And
exactly. And some sex ain't good sex.
Well, yeah, but sometimes those babies still happen.
In other news of wrestling, we would like to give out a RIP to the 3 people that passed away from non-coronavirus. Shad from Crime Time from passing away from high tide while in Las Vegas. I mean, in LA with his son on the beach. His son made it out because he had the lifeguards in him go after his son before the high low tides got to him.
Some real hero shit.
Yep. Also, stop the cyberbullying. RIP to Hermaya Kumoki. I can't pronounce. I don't remember her last name, but she was a 22-year-old star from Stardom. She committed suicide due to the fact of cyberbullying from people giving her backlash from the Netflix show Terrorist Apartment, I think. I can't remember what it is, but people were giving her backlash for snapping at one of her roommates for washing one of her wrestling attires from Wrestle Kingdom. And to be honest, she shouldn't have got that. She's only 22. She committed suicide. A lot of her friends tried to help before it happened, but wasn't able to get out and reach to her before time. And also to Daniel Cook, I want to say, he just been found passed away earlier this week from his roommate. It might have just been depression or anything. They don't know the cause of it. But yeah. R.I.P. to y'all.
Well, yes. It's always sad when, we lose life. So we just got to treat every moment that we have here with being better people and doing what we want to do to make sure the world is better when we leave it than when we were here. And yeah, and just like one little last Star Wars point, to connect this shit back to the Marvel shit, which we're about to segue into. Taika Waititi, the director and co-writer of Thor Ragnarok, is also co-writing and directing a new Star Wars movie. It's untitled. We don't know what the fuck it's going to be about, but they knew what they had. They got lightning in a bottle with Thor Ragnarok, and they have a very fine relationship with Taika. It's just one of the things, if you play well with the mouse will play well with you. And he's going to get another check. I look forward to that. And he was also the voice of the android IG-11, yes, in Mandalorian 2. If you didn't already know that.
This his involvement in the Mandalorian shows his interest and his knowledge of Star Wars, which I think is going to lead to Episode 10 having very, very high in, we'll just say, your favorites of Star Wars movies. It may not be number one, but I bet you it's going to be top 3.
Word.
Episode 10.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
Sticking with Marvel, Sam Raimi has officially been named the director of Doctor Strange 2. He is the original director of the Spider-Man trilogies starring Tobey Maguire from back in the day, which further ushered in the new age of superhero movies following the heels of Blade, The Catalyst, and the X-Men films. And now, ever since that has been announced, people have been speculating that we are actually going to get the Spider-Verse live-action crossover that we all want, which involves Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire all being in one scene together as Spider-Man. It'd be one thing to give us here and there, but no, don't do that. Give us all these Spider-Man in one scene together, if not their own story arc, because that's a whole nother movie itself. But if you give us one scene of them interacting, that'd be dope. You also could incorporate version of Miles, Spider-Gwen, on the top of America Sanchez being introduced in this shit. And I believe Scarlet Witch will also be in the movie because this piggybacks off of the end of the season of WandaVision that's coming next year. And that also got pushed back due to Corona, so that might be for the best thing too, because they'll be able to incorporate other elements from what they already set up and have an idea where things may go in the future. So it's going to be interesting to see that movie when it actually comes to fruition.
So maybe set those up as like the 2 end credits for Doctor Strange instead of necessarily taking away from the story of Doctor Strange.
But the thing is too, as soon as he came on, they started reworking the script again. And that's one of the things why the original director kind of left. Because Marvel wanted to do a little more of this and a little more of that. And with Sam Raimi coming in, that benefits from his Sony connection. So there's already been word that he's already went back and changing certain things. To the extent of how much we actually going to know, we won't find out till actually the movie come out. But it's definitely not going to be the same movie that I believe Scott Dickerson was going to give us. And a lot of people have been leaning into the fact like it might.
Well, sometimes this leads to the problem like something that, maybe off air, the Snyder cut.
Yeah, because the Snyder cut is
Do we want this to happen in the MCU in the middle of its... Well, at the end of its first huge story arc?
No. And that's one thing about the mouse. Kevin Feige, no. What they decide on is going to happen. You might have another cut, but what they're going to see is what they're going to see. Like, people have been trying to petition for... What was it?
Are you talking about the Edgar Wright Ant-Man?
No. They didn't even shoot that much footage. But some people wanted to see, like, potentially maybe, like, an end game, for example, because there's a lot of shit left out, storyboard shit like that. That theatrical release or a theatrical release of some other movies that we heard it was additional footage to. But the mouse isn't in that position to do that. They don't have to do that.
They tried it.
They've tried to, but like what they did with a Disney Plus.
Well, even with Endgame, they tried it and it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, because you didn't need to. You already had the money and the subscribers.
And the Hulk wasn't rendered.
Exactly.
He would look like fucking Shrek.
And that was nasty. That was even nastier. Like, you didn't have to do that. If you're going to go back and put these scenes in, you have the money, do that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know the main thing I think would ruin this Doctor Strange movie is that they strictly focus on this own... Like, I think this movie is sad. Like, it might just only be a setup to the Spider-Verse shit. And it might take away from Doctor Strange's story. Which is unfortunate because he has a lot of good material in his archives.
Oh yeah.
So for this movie, literally just to be an introduction to something that we already know is going to eventually happen, I feel would kill the movie. Or it would take a lot away from it. Maybe it won't kill the movie. Maybe that might be the only reason why people like it. But
exactly, because that's one of the things too. This movie was already set up to be a backdoor to a lot of shit coming in Marvel.
Yeah, well, the title just gives away a lot. Madness into the multiverse. Like, okay, we got out of this crazy time travel fucking thing in Endgame, and now all of a sudden we're just gonna like acknowledge that. Yep. Here's all this extra shit on top of what we just threw at you.
I think one of the cool things we will see is Wanda's power getting out of control.
Exactly, because that's a multiverse in itself. So that might be the first multiverse he's coming into. Like, yo, I gotta stop this. You get America Sanchez, who could punch holes to dimensions, and then you also have Clea is gonna be introducing that shit. The daughter of Dormammu, who ends up being a love interest with Stephen Train. Then you have the Spider-Man aspect, and then we already theorized there's going to be other ways to show different universes and even backdooring some characters like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, possibly into the Marvel universe. So now
a lot of mutants,
yeah,
so it's like cosmic entities in the MCU.
Exactly. So now, regardless whether Spider-Man was going to be this much into it prior, because Spider-Man was going to play an element, we don't know how big or how little. It was going to be an alternate version of Spider-Man before Sam Raimi came on, and it was always going to be intended to be that, because Marvel movies are where they already send them other shit, but this is a movie like, yo, we just going to do it all. But now that Sam Raimi is directing it, how much more of the Spider-Man aspect will take precedent over something that wasn't going to be there anyway?
You can't get mad at Sam Raimi retconning his retcon.
Yo, like, definitely not. Definitely not. And for all we know, these could be still alternate versions of Spider-Man, just played by these actors. We might not necessarily get the versions of Spider-Man they play in the past. These could be, like, for all we know...
Give us Ben Reilly.
Yes, for all we know, Tobey Maguire might be Ben Reilly. Andrew Garfield might be Spider-Hulk or some shit. Tom Holland might be motherfucking the Spider-Man that... Captain Universe Spider-Man.
Tom Holland becomes Spider-Ham.
Or that shit. And like they already been speculating, this could be a way for you to bring Nicolas Cage in as the live action Spider-Man Noir.
I'll take his voice. I don't want to see him do this acting.
Well, you
live
won't.
Action, bro.
You won't, because he'd be wearing a mask in this movie, and it's a way to test better.
But I'll know it's him.
But they might just use his voiceover and just have a stunt double underneath the mask.
And guess what you also get to do? We might never see Deadpool and Spider-Man in a movie, but you could give us a universe with, let's say, Andrew Garfield running to Deadpool randomly, or Deadpool even saying, like, you're never going to see me in another movie.
I don't want to see it as a movie. I want to see Spider-Man Deadpool as a TV show, because it's an awesome comic book run, and it's fun. It's clever. It's got action. It's a little bit of everything. It's a good balance for something you could throw on Disney Plus and get away with the PG-13 Deadpool.
But you won't get it because Disney is not going to play anything remotely respective to Deadpool on their services. They don't have the balls like DC to give us our Harley Quinn type Deadpool series, which Donald Glover was trying to do, but they X'd that.
So, but they have thrown Deadpool into certain Disney XD
cartoons like this. Yeah. So but it won't work in the way we wanted to work.
Well, even Deadpool was even in the our generation Spider-Man, the early 90s.
Yeah, Spider-Man. He was, but he wasn't the Deadpool we know and love. Like, he could be there, but nah, we want that Deadpool. We want the cuss and Spider-Man's their baby now on.
Yeah, but even if you read the Spider-Man Deadpool comics, like, Deadpool kind of toes it down because he's trying to, like, impress Peter Parker. Like, hey, I don't have to be this guy all the time. Yeah. Like, I just want to be your friend because you're cool.
Well, yeah, but Deadpool looks up to Spider-Man.
Exactly, but at the same time, we got to deal with Disney from a marketing standpoint, and they don't want to sully their brand with that. They want to keep all the superheroes that they got nice and clean. They still trying to figure out the more mature shit. So I think they're going to try to... Because ever since Spider-Man's been theirs, or they've been making Spider-Man shit, he's been a kid. They haven't really dealt with adult. It'd be nice, though. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see that, but I know for a fact we don't get that through Disney.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I would love. I just think
that would be the best medium for a PG-13 Deadpool. Yeah, if you ran a Spider-Man Deadpool show, because he would be trying to watch his mouth, and you could throw in a couple bleeps in there when he slips
air horns, car
because that would be part of the appeal of the show.
And that's what I was saying about Deadpool in the movies. Like, you don't necessarily have to give us a rated R Deadpool movie for him to work.
Now, if it's a movie, I want to see him cutting heads off and cussing.
You can do that.
That's why he wore the brown pants.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do a heavy PG-13. You could cut away. You could get around that. Even like you're saying with the TV series, you could honk, be like, yo, I can't say because we all know why. You could give it to us and then give us, on like, for example, the DVD release, give us the R version. I think that would be smart too. Like, no, you keep the PG-13 on, like Disney and all that shit. But if you really want to see the uncut R version, yo, get the DVD.
Pay $12 extra.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's all marketing, because we will pay for that shit. Or you release both versions.
But I mean, isn't that kind of what they did when they released Once Upon a Time in Deadpool?
Yeah, that was a test run.
Yeah, you get like Deadpool 1 and 2 in this. I did like the format of it being.
I actually
like
fell asleep watching it. I wanted to watch it, but I ran in as I fell asleep. But no, I wanted to see the experiment because I think it could work. Deadpool, they think
it's a clever way to do it.
Get around the shit.
But me being a grown ass man, I'm okay with watching all the other shit. And
hell yeah,
I like the cussing and the blood. And,
because that's what he's about.
Yeah,
you don't pussyfy a killer. Don't tell me Wolverine is the best at what he do, and what he do is kill, and you never show him. You show him killing, but you ain't showing what that really entails and what that shit really looks like.
Well, I was gonna say, even Wolverine had some crazy kills in the comic books compared to the movies. It's like, oh, he stabbed him. How cute.
Just like with the Ninja Turtles back in the day.
Cutting off arms, hitting you with the Berserker Barrage. You left the toothpicks and shoes. You shish kebab, son.
Hell yeah, just like the Ninja Turtles back in the day in the cartoon and movies, they had fucking weapons, but because of the censorship and shit, after the first Turtle movies, you go to Secret Ooze, they didn't use their weapons.
It got a lot more kiddish.
It got more kiddish because parents complained, and just like in the cartoon, like they supposed to be out there killing, like in the.
Well, they made the foot soldiers robots, so it was okay for them to kill or destroy their enemies.
Exactly, just like in Wolverine and Ninth cartoon, he's always stabbing robots and Sentinels. You never see him use his claws on human beings, even though that's what they were made to do, because they try to get around that shit. But we still understood better in that cartoon what Wolverine was really about outside of the movies, because they never allow him to be the animal that he was afraid of being, but they always told us about that story.
Well, I think the 90s generation really tried to humanize Wolverine. Try to make him more like, I am like this, but, I don't want to be like this. Well, this is my life. I have to follow my path.
That is his life, and that was the story that he was given, so I'm okay with that. But at the same time, like, we're more sophisticated now, and we enjoy the journey. Let us see why he needs to stop being that way. Don't tell us. That's how you can make the better movie. Just like with Logan. That's why it was damn near perfection, because he was doing what you had to do. No
sugarcoating.
No sugarcoating. Yeah. Blood, guts, death, killing, brains, all that shit, cussing, smoking, fornicating, titties, everything. Logan's like smoking cigarettes, drinking drink, getting drunk.
So that's the way it should be, but of course, once again, it comes down to appealing to the masses. So you have to kind of kid it down and still keep it adult enough, so you get the whole market, and not just a bunch of.
You say the whole market?
The whole market, hell yeah.
Hoes gotta watch shit too.
Yeah, they love it.
That's all I'm saying. Speaking of downpours, Umbrella Academy Season 2 is coming to Netflix July 31st. If you're a fan of comic book adaptation, Umbrella Academy was created by Jerry Ward, lead singer of My Chemical Romance. And romance is chemical, because you can't have a romance without chemistry. And chemistry is created by DNA.
And he's not okay.
And he's not okay. And if you can't breathe because you take your breath away, you might need a CNA. You heard?
I'm going to delete this whole thing.
Oh, shit.
After you flip the table in Jesus' name.
We can't party at the dance floor?
She forgives you.
Huh?
We can't party on the dance floor?
She forgives you, by the way, for your future
Jesus
mistakes.
Wasn't a she.
Who said she was?
What?
Maybe if you didn't get me fired, you wouldn't be getting roasted right now.
Oh, God.
And speaking of fired and being roasted, how about Michael Jordan talking to his teammates during this last dance? Because that was definitely a weekly event in my quote-unquote household, because I couldn't wait to start seeing this shit. Ross, what you thought about it?
Man, I learned so much. I did not know Steve Kerr's daddy was out here getting gunned down in a white neighborhood all on college campus.
For doing the right thing.
No, helping the students. Bruh.
Yes, it was a lot of shit.
I didn't know that. I knew Phil Jackson was cool, but I didn't know he was that down to earth.
He's straight hippie for sure. Hank Hill and him might not have got along. Him and Cartman too.
He ain't hippie, he's ally.
Hippies are tend to align as allies.
I forgot that Carmen and Ramen had that long of a
Hippies
relationship.
just don't want no shit, man, and they just want people not to judge them for smelling bad.
They're also pretty much team human.
Exactly.
You know?
And if you high enough, you don't smell anyway. I'm just saying if you high enough.
I'm saying some things heighten certain senses, and that just makes it worse.
But they also use sage too, and
Wrong
sage
festival.
probably covered it up a lot.
And once you ingested the sum of the black pepper heart-shaped herb, your senses will be heightened to degrees far beyond human. And if you don't vote for Joe Biden, he will snatch it back from you.
Wakanda forever.
So you guys are probably going to hear about this, seeing as how this comes out Friday and we're recording on Monday. But just for current events from your Freddy in the Corner, the military is being militarized against protesters now. Trump called for them to be deployed to cities to take care of protesters.
Of course they did, man.
When I say take care of, I don't mean in a nice way.
Oh, yeah. We already know that shit was coming. He said once the looting starts, the shooting starts.
And you
said
know that.
originally by a racist.
And a 15-year-old boy was killed last night in Denver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once again, I was trying to save some of this to the end, but just like life, you can't prepare when shit is brought to your doorstep. So remember, guys, stay visual, do what's right.
Be kind. We all are human.
Yes. And something else that happened, I wouldn't necessarily say this was a blessing to me. It was definitely a pleasant surprise. No disrespect to her, because she just got to get a check. But Ruby Rose leaves the role as Batwoman. There's a lot of different reasons being said of why she chose to. Most of them have been coming from the
Her
angle.
wasn't a choice.
Really?
Well, that's one of the speculations.
I heard
Some
the fans
rumors.
was trashing her every week on the
That's
Twitter.
definitely what's happening, because I'm not saying I was
I think
trashing her.
that's too much.
I was never a fan of that decision in the first place.
trashing her.
But mostly they've been trying to say like she signed on to do it part time because there was only a limited amount of episodes and she was used to doing small roles. But once it got signed on for the long haul, like a lot of CW actors say, yo, once you a CW superhero, this is all you do for the most part. And she was ran for those conditions and all that physical
She
activity.
Ronda Rousey did?
Nah.
But they-
That's
that-
what Ronda Rousey's excuse of why she ain't going back to full time.
Oh, no, that's not. That's, maybe,
she got tired of getting whooped, bro.
Well, no.
She kept getting her head whooped once these other females learn how to punch.
Wait, you talking about Ronda Rousey?
No, we're talking about wrestling. We're talking about wrestling.
Yeah, we're talking about wrestling.
Even wrestling.
No. Because she went to the top too quick, too fast. She didn't earn that shit.
Because it's a soap opera. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but it's a soap opera.
No, it's because Vince McMahon knew she would bring in asses and viewership, so they bumped her up.
So it's a soap opera and you need viewers.
I hate
exactly.
to agree from the corner, but I did just watch the Nature Boy final match against who was it?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michael.
Yeah.
It is a soap opera.
No doy.
No doy?
No doy.
Wrestling isn't as fake as a lot of people think it is. There's a lot of
So are
stuff
comic
that
books.
happens to it.
So are movies.
But
So are TV shows.
yeah, but
So it's just a reality that our government presents to us.
yeah, and when it comes down
So it's
to
Corona.
wrestling is a man soap opera.
No, it's a redneck anime.
What's so me?
That's
My friend and I,
Live action redneck anime.
my friend David and I got into a conversation just randomly.
Wait.
I've
Are you
never
Dave
heard of
or
that.
you get lies?
I'm neither.
Which one's real?
I'm the stone.
I'm the motherfucker that did the work.
And she's supposed to be a soft one too, but go ahead, Daniel.
We started talking for about an hour and we started talking about wrestling and the fact that before in the 90s it always started with we had a bunch of matches planned and we're so sorry we didn't plan for this, we're sorry, but there's some drama happening backstage, can we get a camera backstage? We had it planned for tonight, but this just happened, and that was really the whole plan for the night, was to see the drama unfold. but then also the fact that it is not only Yu-Gi-Oh, where all these big stake things like the custody of your child or your affair or whatever's happening has to be solved with wrestling.
Yeah, what was our generation called?
Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era.
The golden age of wrestling.
Don't get me wrong, I was a huge fucking fan. I look back at it now like, man, you really got hyped for that shit because you thought it was real.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is just Pegasus, and he's like, "Come to my island and fight for your grandpa."
If you ride my back, I'll give you everything you want.
But then,
I mean, low key, they had the boss man ruin a funeral. They had the big show drag.
They rented out a grocery store to trash it. This grocery store made more money to trash the goddamn store than they did to stay open.
With Booker T and Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the greatest matches, segments ever. Classic to the day. I could watch that every day and not get bored of it.
I mean,
it's fucking hilarious.
It was very entertaining, and that's why we all watched it. Everybody in this fucking room watched that shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. Even if you were mad that your parents had it on the TV, your ass was still sitting on the floor watching the shit with the rest of your family.
Clean up on aisle 8.
I wasn't clean up on aisle 8.
He poured milk on him.
Not only is it Yu-Gi-Oh! Last point I'll make is that it's like if you went to go see the Dodgers play the A's, and then the Giants came out from the sideline all carrying bats and joined in, and they still played baseball. Because sometimes two guys would be going at it, and then out of nowhere, 3 other dudes come in, and they just go down there and
But
start.
guess what? The show must go on. Just like Batwoman has to go on, minus Ruby Rose's exit. Because now the question, who will play her next? And ever since
I'm Team Beatrice.
I'm not mad at that either. It should be weird, just ethnically, but I can get over that shit because it's a comic book show. But like, I'm still watching.
If I'm correct, isn't Kate Kane supposed to be semi-ethnic?
Yes.
On whose side? Her daddy's? Because she's related to Bruce on the white side, which is the mama side.
You know that interracial relationships happen, right?
No. When did that start?
That's where you get these funny colored people.
These funny colored.
You mean the pinks?
I don't mean it like that, people.
Or the yellows? Or the oranges?
Edit that out.
That's staying in. I'm going to go ahead and isolate that clip, and we're just going to go ahead.
Put it on loop.
No, but go ahead. No, it's like one of them things like, yo, I was never a fan of her in the first place just because her acting skill. I don't give a fuck about her being whatever, because I'm cool with all that shit. Love who you love. And it makes sense because she's an LGBTQ plus person. That role is that, and I get that. But I just didn't like her because I knew she couldn't act. Same way when fucking Ronda Rousey was rumored to be Captain Marvel. She can't act. If she could act, I wouldn't care about her being like, you can't act. Don't be in this shit I want to enjoy for acting in stories when I know you can't deliver that shit. And also Ruby Rose talked about like the physicalness of the stunts. She actually got her ass knocked out, was unconscious for a little bit. So that also played.
So does that mean she didn't do her stunts on John Wick? Her best acting performance ever?
Well, that's different because Batwoman is more hands-on, watching Arrow. A lot of them do as much as they can, and one of them shit she was trying to do as her, she got knocked the fuck out. So that went into that shit like, yo, I didn't sign up to be knocked out, working 15-hour days for like months on end. So then she came to this, it was like, yo, this ain't for me. And this low-key might be for the best. Because I don't watch Batwoman, obviously, for her. I watch it for the story and the character. So we shall see.
Well, from what I understand, a tweet that she released is that it was like an unwanted breakup. Maybe that's not verbatim, but and a lot of people are trying to speculate some of the stuff you're saying. Yeah. Even like she broke her back. She's not physically capable to do this stuff anymore.
If Batman could break his back and come back to protect Gotham, why can't a woman do the same thing? Because women are the strongest. They're the strongest sex.
There's like 80% real and there's 20% the show.
If she could push a man out of her hymen,
I don't think she
could get it in.
But not saying that she can't.
Yo, I'm just saying. Yo, I wish you the best for you in your future endeavors, Ruby Rose. You'll forever be ever moist to me.
If you get enough people to boycott, you'll be back on the show. No worries.
No, you won't.
She ain't gonna get it.
They're gonna go in another direction. Nobody there's gonna be some boycotts. Like CW will go on. They would be fine.
They've recast tons of other characters, so it's okay.
Exactly.
There'd be probably more boycotts for Riverdale than for Ruby Rose to come back.
And when Riverdale does it, it's gonna be organically, quote unquote, not
She's gonna
because
be the evil Veronica.
just like if Veronica decide not to come, people still gonna fuck with Riverdale. But it's like, yeah,
They're replacing Veronica?
no, they know better.
Veronica?
No, don't disrespect the lives.
Veronica?
And before we get into Community, which we will geek out about, the Snyder Cut is coming next year. It's not going to be a movie. It's going to be a 6-part HBO Max limited series.
Oh, so they treating it just like the Quentin Tarantino extended cut of Hateful Eight.
And that's
on
something
Netflix.
That's what I just heard about too. Like, yes, that's what happened.
The Hateful Eight as the series or the miniseries was, I feel, better.
Oh, so that's already out?
Yeah, it's been on Netflix.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
but
that's
you have to look up the right version. One's in a movie format where it's like almost
just the
2 hours.
version,
And then you
it's
got
the
one where
extended
it's
version.
like 6 to 8 episodes.
So yeah, and they cut them
says
in
it's
the
a
hour
season.
pieces. Yeah, they cut them in the hour joint. So it's,
How many more niggers are added to that version?
Oh, so many. Let's just say at least 40 per episode plus.
Yeah.
No, the first couple
Keep
episodes.
it authentic.
First couple episodes are still pretty tame, like the beginning of the movie, but when shit gets crazy, like those last couple episodes are where you could tell, like, oh, that's where they added all this shit in.
No dialogue here. Go ahead and do it. Use it at your discretion. Use it at your discretion.
I can't because I can't think of an actual movie quote off of that fucking movie, but literally, like, the fourth episode, if you go into the director's cut, is you can get more bang for your buck.
That movie had me throw as soon as Shannon Tatum came up from underneath the floorboard. Like, I'm in it now. Let's go back and fill in some shit. I'm like,
And you're like,
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
word. And segueing off of that aspect of DC, Stargirl just debuted during the quarantine. And one of the main characters of that is Stargirl, of course. She played by a Nickelodeon actress who starred on, what was the show, Ross?
Bella and the Bulldogs. I highly recommend it. It's on Hulu. It's 2 seasons. It's just about a girl that used to play cheerleading, but decided to become the quarterback of her high school team. I want to remember, and they was out here balling.
Exactly, and she's Stargirl. So before she was Stargirl, there was a character named Starman, who she's picking up that mantle from. And Starman was played by no other than Joel McHale, who voiced Johnny Cage in the latest Mortal Kombat animated movie Scorpion Revenge. He also what would you say? He was the mediator.
He did that Tiger King episode?
He was the mediator in the Tiger King episode on Netflix.
Talk soup.
But Joel McHale, foremost and formally, will always be known as Jeff Winger. Jeffrey Tinkletown Winger. But now this is where we get to the we geeking out segment. And today we geeking out with my favorite TV series of all time, without doubt.
God.
The one, the only, The Community. If you're not familiar with Community, it was created by Rick and Morty creator Dan Harmon. Before he was there, he was here in Greendale, Colorado.
According to the first episode, it's only 15 minutes away from here.
Exactly. Mind blown. Fountain,
Do you know what else? What other fictional characters live in Colorado?
Stargate Atlantis.
The Venture Brothers.
Everyone's Colorado.
Bro, that's nasty.
They're in the Springs. They're out in a bunker.
And Jeremy Gilbert from Vampire Diaries also resided here.
And the ranch.
And the ranch. And Alien vs. Predator Wreck Room took place in Gunnison.
That is a fake Gunnison because I've been to Gunnison and there's no fucking forest like
Wait,
that.
so you tell me there's no aliens or predators?
No, there are those things
predators
where
exist.
they lied about the location.
To keep us safe?
Yes.
If predators didn't exist, then Chris Hansen wouldn't have a career.
I miss that show.
Do you?
I do, low-key. Like, y'all motherfuckers, it's like R. Kelly Catfish. Like, you really thought you was gonna get a little guppy. But hook, line, and sinker, you go in and clean, motherfucker.
What's crazy is if you look in the background of most of those episodes, you see Drake circling the block.
He would not do that. He would not. This episode 4, you have to chill on the Drake slander.
Is that how he got around so fast?
Because this is not that podcast.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just me and Dave.
I didn't mean that.
It's fine. You can have Jesus and Drake on escaping, but here
I know you guys.
we gotta keep it moving.
You playful banter.
We do, but sometimes this should go a little long because then you have to bring something up.
It's okay
And then
to
it gets
hate
me
each
an
other just a
itching.
little bit.
And then I give you a
only happen
scratch.
with love.
Yo, certain love is not okay.
Your love.
Yeah, I wish you would choke just a little less.
Whoa. That could go either or way.
That would go no way, Jose. And it's because both of y'all are brown that I said that shit too.
Jose,
Oh, he's a different brown.
Tan, turtle belly, and cashmere cat is all the same brown.
You forgot khaki.
No, that's white.
No, that's like it's some of us.
right.
It's some of us.
That's a deep khaki, bro.
And guess what?
Indiana
Guess
Jones
what?
khaki.
Just like the iron sheet, sometimes that deep khaki gets straightened out.
Oh.
Exactly. So,
I thought he was more of a camel brown.
or a camel toe for sure. Haha, see what I did here? Arabian Nights, Arabian Days. Anywho, Community. Ain't a ding you can say about that. That doesn't have me feeling any type of way.
Got much? Got Dean much?
It's a puppy parade, guys. Who's ready?
Oh my god. Cool.
All right, so getting back to the topic at hand. See, that's why I love having a podcast. It's like having your own show because it is your own show. You get to do what you want to do for the people who decide to listen to you. And for all those that listen to this regularly with yourself, thank you always. With your kids, that's your choice as a parent. I have kids. I
will
won't
say
judge.
that I love you in a platonic way.
Word. Plutonic, bubonic. We all die anyway.
Supersonic?
It's all love.
Supersonic. Movie 3 won't be in movie 2 because they got to introduce Tails and Knuckles. And he has to gather all the camera.
Gotta go
chaos
fast?
angles. Gotta go faster.
So,
That's gonna be gotta go faster. And then never mind.
I'm already doing marketing. You better pay us.
I didn't like it.
We will talk about that later. He did.
That's one that
This will be
Fine.
another episode, and it was quite enjoyable.
Word.
Mister.
Like we said, 1 out of 3.
So Community basically takes place with a group of individuals at a fictional community college and their exploits as they get to know each other, become a family, and try to graduate and become better people and actually enter back into the real world, even though they never technically left the real world, and all the shenanigans that ensues.
That was a lot to explain in one breath.
It wasn't a lot, but just the fact of even talking about this show just brings back so many memories.
It's so many memories.
Feels, because I remember being in community college at PPCC for like 3 years, maybe 4 on and off, depending on how you count them.
I was 3 because I went blind on my 4th.
What's really cool is some of my roommates are watching it for the first time, so I get that contact high from them from their first time seeing.
You're
things.
looking at them instead of looking at
Yeah,
Like, please don't tell me Jeff and
You see
Annie
them laugh
actually
like
get together.
they understand.
Yes.
Pop. Yeah.
Well, when the riots go off, when they find out that minuses are fake, and Magnitude does that crazy pop. Yeah. They all lost it, and I'm not even watching the TV. I'm looking at them like,
And they're just like,
Even the episode with Troy birthday, like the Red Door, L Street, it's the same fucking
When
place.
he was
How-
like, everybody spends the second time in 5th grade.
there's.
You lied to me! So many lies!
So I've seen this show like 3-4 times all the way through. Just-
newbie,
Oh dang! I'm sorry.
casual.
I watch a lot of shows, but I'm going through it again. One of the first episodes, it's Starburns makes a comment about Chang telling him, "I'm not Starburns,"
His name
and
is
he's
what,
like,
Alex.
"Well, then why don't you spend 5 hours shaving Jeff into the side of your head, or Alex into the side of your head?" And it's like, oh fuck! I started dying. I was like, I don't remember this joke.
And that's one of the beautiful things about it. Side characters like
Starburst.
You have Todd and his turtle, Garrett, Fat Neil, Leonard, Vicky,
I swear to
Professor
God, I saw
Duncan.
Leonard in real life when I was coming home, or when I was driving to pick you guys up. I saw Leonard.
I believe it.
Yo,
He's walking
Leonard
down the
is real.
street, fucking looking all
And
cocky, like
And just the running gas of the show.
had his backpack on and everything.
Fucking awesome.
Shut up, Leonard. I heard about your crooked wing.
Any press is good press. But even when Shirley like, yeah, we know you don't talk to your kids. I'm drowning. It's only 3 feet of water, Leonard. Shut up. Like, yo, and Leonard's always there. And Leonard is an older white guy that's a background character of the show.
And his pizza reviews are the truth.
And his roommate is a black dude with dreads.
Big, jacked dude who goes, thanks for doing the dishes, Leonard.
Looking like DJ from Street Fighter.
What kind of life does Leonard lead?
A life that
The
he's
best one
living.
ever, man. I want to live Leonard's life.
We just know he's a veteran, and he just goes to this community college
He doesn't have to
And
have the
doesn't go
spotlight on
get-
him to shine.
and doesn't go get a degree that we know of. He's just there.
And I'm just going to go through a quick rundown of the main characters of the show
Main
real quick.
six.
You have Jeff, played by Joe McHale. He's a former lawyer who lied about passing the bar that has to go to community college to get his degree so he could go back to practicing law. He's the cool guy. He's the dad of the squad, quote unquote. And he's who the ladies like mostly. You have Troy Wonder Boy, played by Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino before he popped up. He was the star quarterback at his high school. Not the brightest, but he's just trying to go to school and just do something with his life. You have Abed, played by Danny Pudi. Or is it Pude? Pudi, thank you. I got that right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
He's socially awkward. He's probably on the spectrum. He relates a lot of things to movie and TV series and comic books and pop culture because that's how he relates himself to the world. You have Pierce, played by the legendary Chevy Chase. Old Sith male, semi-racist, misogynist, homophobic,
Pocket full of
Hawthorns. He is America in a lot of ways.
He's baby.
Then you have Annie, played by Allison Brie. Yo, blessing, America's sweetheart for that time. Annie was high on Adderall and pills to overachieve and succeed in high school. She crashed, she burned, she was in love with Troy, and now she's more or less the virginal, goody two-shoes, adorable child who has to figure out what it's like to become a woman. Then you have Yvette Brown, plays Shirley. She's the black Christian mom, literally and figuratively, figure of the squad. She goes through a lot of personal shit. She might low-key have, I'm not going to say the saddest life, but the most realest life and situation throughout this whole time, which while trying to be the most positive, righteous character of the squad.
You would never believe she was fresh out of divorce.
Were technically twice, too.
And then when
Yeah.
you find out that her high-pitched voice is her sexy voice.
Yes. Jillian Jacobs also was on a show called, what, Love?
Love was actually
Or was it just Love?
just Love.
Yes.
And that's with I think part of Apatow's new team, a little nerdy Jew actor, no offense.
Jew.
He admits to being a Jew.
I think you mispronounced it G with a G.
Oh,
G.
it's a J.
like that Gillian.
Yes, that was a rock
It's a
guy.
goo. It's a goo.
It's a goo. Yeah, it's a goo.
It's a
Because we
goo.
don't pronounce J's here.
I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, Dan. I know this is hitting heartstrings. No, but literally, it's a young Apatow member. You know, they have these really nerdy, funny guys come in. It's a show about this nerd and Gillian Jacobs hooking up. And it's actually a super fun, clever show, and it's super relatable. It's all about awkward relationships and trying to figure shit out.
So I gotta give it a try then.
She's not Britta in this show. We'll say that.
Word. That's a good thing. And then we have the boy Ken John, who is actually a licensed doctor / surgeon in the real world who became a comedian. He plays Chang, and if you remember the Hangover movies, he was the only agent in that film. If memory serves me correctly.
I think you remember.
He wasn't the only Asian in that film because his crew came to save him. Because, obviously he was like a big gay boss.
But he was the main Asian, though.
I didn't say main Asian, so Chris is technically correct.
There were more than one Asian in the first Hangover.
He was the one that had the little penis. Not racist. They actually showed us his dick.
And he put it all over Bradley Cooper's face. He actually references this in his stand-up.
Yes. And then we have the
Wasn't
Dean.
even famous and got to put his dick on a fucking star's face. That's fantastic. The guy's got, that's more than an Emmy. A Grammy, Oscar. Put his dick on someone's face and got away with it.
Stank face.
Just get the EGOT?
So he should get an AVN award.
It's beyond.
That's where that shit happens mostly.
That's fucking total facial. Or something.
And you can't have a community college like Greendale without somebody overseeing it all. So who was that person, Ross?
The greatest dean of all time, Craig Pelton, played by Jim Rash.
Woo! Ding 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 pop 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 pop. We out here. But yes,
My name is Alex.
not Starburn.
That's one of the first Christmas episodes.
Hell yeah, and that's the thing too. Like
they have the greatest holiday episodes.
Oh, most def, and they all connect to previous episodes. The callbacks in this series are so refined and so deep and so fucking what's the word I'm looking for?
But
they created
so earned.
They created the structure for shows like this. This has never been done before.
And we can't forget that these episodes were being directed by the Russo brothers before.
Some of them, yes.
Before they became famous and known for...
Well, this is what made them... This is what led to their fame. This is what made
just gave them put their foot in the door to open up.
Just gave them the opportunity.
Like any show, you have your favorite character, your favorite episode. So we're just going to start off real quick and go around and talk about our favorite characters and the characters that we see ourselves in and we relate to the most. So I'm starting with you, Ross. Tell me about some of your favorite characters on this series.
Some of my favorite characters.
Start with your one. Give me your 1, 2, 3.
My 1, 2, 3 has to be.
You gotta have 3?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to.
No, I'm just fucking with y'all.
Your body, your choice.
Oh, thanks.
Sell it or keep it, baby. Sell it or keep it.
What? But without a doubt, it's Abed.
I got a pocket full of dogs if you need them. I'm just saying.
Oh man, we doing that already?
No, we ain't doing that. You need to do that.
Can't hit me with that commercial. You know what that's for.
I know what that's for. That's my jam.
But it's Abed, Troy, and then I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna just give it for Fat Neil just because of my favorite episode.
Fat Neil.
Fat Neil is my favorite.
Show us the regular size Neil.
So for everybody, recommended episode if you were to just start this show would be Advanced D&D season 2. I want to say episode 8. It's all about the fact that Fat Neil, he's always been good at school, ended up coming to community college, went to just go get a drink of water, found out, got the nickname Fat Neil, and Jeff ends up befriending him, learning about Dungeons and Dragons, just to be kind of cool with him. And then Fat Neil gives him all his D&D books. And Jeff think he might be committing suicide. So what does Jeff do? Convinces the whole group, go to play a game of D&D. Abed ends up becoming DM. They all end up going on an adventure. They try to keep Pierce out. It's a great story. If you come in blind, it explains all the characters in their easiest way. And it just shows like how this group kind of works into this.
It's still
system.
Comedic with a serious note.
Yes.
I mean, we all know what episode you're talking about.
Great.
For the people that watched it, they do. If you don't, you need to.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to generalize.
Do you guys want me to tell you what episode it was?
Yes, please.
Season 2, episode 14.
Ooh, I was only down by 8. Season 2, episode 14, but I was right on season 2 though.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite episode and your top 3 characters there, Chris?
Top 3 characters, I'm going to have to say Leonard is an absolute favorite.
Absolute.
Abed, because that's just a complex mind. It's beautiful in an awkward way. And then Annie. Like, she has probably some of the best character development over the show. So you get towards the last season. It all flows together, but it's not the same community once you get towards the end.
Yeah, season 6 was a different community, but it still worked, though.
Yeah, but Leonard, Abed, and Annie. Top 3. Favorite episode, I'd probably have to say the Floor Lava episode. Because Troy has to keep playing so they can always be friends. And he doesn't go to that stupid AC school that evil John Goodman forced him to do. And John Goodman is supposed to be a good man.
Also gonna say my favorite joke is knock knock, who's there? The floor. You're on the floor. No, you're on the floor because you're gonna be on there.
Knock, knock. It's for you.
Yeah, the floor, bitch. I was like, oh shit.
And honorary mention to any of the fucking paintball episodes. Those are all fantastic, so that's why I went with the Floor is Lava.
Yes,
on top of
it's
the
hard
mini.
to choose between the paintball episodes. Which one's great?
All of them are fantastic.
Yes,
They are.
But those are the only episodes you ever watch Community. Watch all the paintball episodes.
Yes.
I would disagree, but at the same time, any episode of Community is a great episode of Community.
The first season did kind of start off weak, but the greatest thing about the first episode is the
Well, it's
first
the first episode. They gotta
Is
get
the-
their legs.
is the greatest callback ever. I'm high as hell. I'm about to get shot.
Word. Speaking of being tops and not bottoms, my top 3. My number 1 has to be the boy Troy, because that's the character I relate to the most. Not just because he's black, but mostly because he's black. And when you have a best friend that is very similar to you in a lot of manners, you're like the yin and the yang. You're more a full moon and a whole moon versus the sun and the moon. But they all got light. They all shine and they all are dark. So it is what it is, though. But Troy goes through a lot of things I've had to go through in my life, like trying to figure out my own destiny, trying to figure out how to talk to a woman once you realize you already had it, but then you fuck it up because you oversell it. And sometimes you're overzealous and trying to figure out how to be
Yourself.
And also, like, what does it mean to be a man in a room with men in it? And what do you bring valuably to a situation if the thing that you're good at isn't perceived to be that resourceful, if you will? Second would be Abed Adair, because just like Abed, most of my relationship with the physical world, the real world, the world that you can see to be reality, comes from my relationship with TV from a young age. Like I said to a lot of people, I'm a TV kid. I'm a VHS baby. Like, I was born in the 80s. You put me in front of the TV, I'll watch it all day. You don't do shit to me. I learned most of my core values and life experiences from television because I see what happens to characters on TV, and then I see how that shit correlates and interacts with the real world situations. I'm like, oh, this is pretty similar, so this is how I should maneuver, and this is how it should be, because I seen it happen in art, then I see it reflect in real life, then I see real life imitated by art, and it more or less all balances itself out. And at the same time, Abe had a real issue with figuring out the difference between both. And sometimes, just like me and Daniel, when you are a lucid dreamer, you're an avid dreamer, you're a vivid dreamer, and the lines between reality and what is not aren't that cut and dry. You have to sit there.
It's only between you and Daniel.
Yeah, it's me and Daniel.
I have the same fuck ass problems too, cuz.
That's because you choose not to talk about them. That's your own life.
And I'm an open book where everyone realizes I'm a goddamn mess.
So I don't dream. I
think it's Bookie
at
Hole.
night and it's just black, and then I wake up and I'm like, well, fuck, that's over.
See, you don't see. Because you don't have to deal with we have to deal with. Like, I never woke up and thought my whole life was a claymation stop motion Christmas special episode. But I've dreamed in that realm of things. And that's also an honorable mention. It's not one of my top 3, but it's definitely an honorable mentionable episode.
Oh, the claymation Christmas
Oh, yeah, of
episode?
course. It's always
that shit's
dope.
so beautiful.
Then the call back to when it was in regular life. Anywho, but yes, Abed, like, I relate to him so much, and I get it, because sometimes you want to speak in your own language of pop culture, but then you have to realize people don't talk like you, so it's a foreign language. So when you do, they just look at you like you stupid. So you're just like, you know what? I'm not gonna speak at all. I'm gonna sit here in this corner of this bar, sip my drink, and mind my own business.
But Abed was never really like the one. Like he almost like never understood that people didn't grasp that till later in the seasons when it comes to probably the claymation episode when you realize why that episode is the way it is.
Exactly. And unlike Abed, he wanted to get help from a therapist. Guess what? I don't. I'm just gonna be crazy. And my third, speaking of crazy,
he was just talking to the group, not a therapist.
No, he like you find out later he has been actually going.
He's talked to Britta, but yeah, he also talked to
because his dad like actually like had him seeing a therapist, especially after his mom had passed.
Before his mom passed, he was talking to a therapist, and then he stopped seeing the therapist, and
that's when it was in the dude's office. Was like, no, Abed can't tell real from fake, and they were like, no, cover his ears, and I'm like, oh, doing that shit. When Jeff was like, Troy, don't make him believe things. He was like, I knew it when he said he was the devil. It was like that episode, but
yeah.
Speaking of crazy, Annie, little Annie Adderall. Annie Edison is my number 3 for multiple reasons. Allison Brie is adorable, but yet sexy at the same time, like Natalie Portman and other women like that. And it's just like, yo, her character was naive, adorable. Sometimes I feel like I used to be that way, but it's different when you're a woman and a man, but it's a whole different thing. But then her relationship with Troy, even her relationship with Abed, because low key, Abed was really spitting game when he was in quote unquote character.
Out with her. He
multiple
also seduced her twice.
He almost had her naked a couple of times.
But he knew what he was doing though. That's where he was at.
Or is that not that nice guy? Like, I know I'm a nice guy. I'm being a nice guy. I know I could get. Or was that Abed being just, like, I'm in character. Like a fully the best way I could. He had a fully functioning brain. Yeah. Oh yeah, we know that.
He absolutely understands everything, but it doesn't seem like he understands anything.
But my question would
the way he talks and tries to relate stuff.
But my statement would be like, you can know that. That's why you act that way in character. Like when he was Han Solo in the paintball. He knew that Annie was like...
Well, yeah, but that was one of the times when he was choosing to do it. There's only probably one time when he was non-intentionally going for it. If you really look at it, because everything else is a very heavy theme-based episode.
Yes, but at the same time, like, he has to know part of him can get away with set aspect. Like when he was trying to be Batman, and he was talking to her and like, oh, shit.
But that's one of the times when he was full-on in the character.
Also, remember... the episode when he got all those gifts because he was trying to do the acting jump off, and he was like, yeah, broken girls like me and all this and that.
But it's because he understood people.
That is.
But there's also the point, and because I've rewatched the show a lot of times, if you look at it, Annie is always 100% willing to go with him on these crazy adventures.
That is
She's
true.
always there side by side. After the Christmas episode, when they show up at his house and they're all singing, she sits on a chair next to him and holds his hand. After Troy leaves, they get much closer and they start playing off each other. And then by the end of the show, they do that paintball episode where they're real fucking close. And then they both move to California together.
And a lot of those paintball episodes always
end up... the movie's going to take us?
Maybe. And a lot of those paintball episodes involve Annie and Abed on some like...
And I've been team Annie and Abed since season 2.
I'm still always low-key gonna be... Annie Troy, like low key, but Annie and Abed after all the and the way Community is structured, it makes the sense because you just go. It only takes one person. Like remember this, and they do a whole flashback. This and the third.
How did you guys feel about Troy and Britta?
I didn't like that.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie.
It was odd, but I could see it happening because you go back and rewatch it. There was already C's Planet and just being Troy-ish.
He always
if Jeff gonna hit it, why wouldn't I hit it? Number 1. Regionals, the Glee inspired episode.
He loved Glee, that's why.
Christmas for me, Christmas for you, me so Christmas, me so tree,
me so horny.
Baby boomer Santa, I'm the gift of the world. You're welcome from everything. World. Do you know what today is? What's today? Somebody who's very special born. Who is that person? Do you know?
Public school refuses to tell us.
I wish I could recite the whole thing.
Jesus. Was anybody special born today?
Jesus! I'm like, Boop, boop, sex. Little baby want Christmas. All right, I'm leaving it right there real quick. Of course, my personal fave would be the Darkest Timeline episode when you show how any
Wait, hold on, is this your third favorite or your first favorite?
Second is Chaos.
But no, I'm gonna read this second on what I'm going through, but this personally would be my favorite.
Top.
If I had to see one episode, like this is why I fuck with Community, it would be Chaos Theory. But the Darkest Timeline definitely could show how things could go awry because me having an overactive imagination and having overthought a lot of situations in life because I constantly do. This is my episode because I'm always thinking like, what if I do this? Did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? Then you see what can happen in different timelines and how they could fold back into each other. And number 3 would be Meow Meow Beans.
Meow meow.
I always forget about fucking Meow Meow Beans.
How do you forget? Whoa.
Black Mirror copyrighted that episode.
Because I enjoy
Bryce
it.
Dallas Howard episode.
I enjoy it, and my brain goes,
That lets me know you're a 1.
No,
you're a 1 because you're a 1. You know how I know you're a 1? Because if you were a 2, you couldn't forget like them apples, right? 2s and they're apples. The cooler agrees. Hell yeah. The cooler fucking agrees.
I'm gonna be the one guy that gives you 2 Meow Meow Beans because that hurt me.
what happens is every time I watch it, I get so excited about it, and I'm like, this is the best episode. And then it's like my brain hemorrhages and pushes that into a separate corner for where all the good things that happen.
Is it because you don't want to be a 5 Meow Meow?
I will never be a 5 Meow Meow.
Don't say that.
What I'm saying?
Like
Everybody?
Abed. Like
Everybody?
Abed. Like
Give them
Abed.
5s.
Like Abed.
Like, yeah.
No.
I hate
You already got 1 star. Yo, oh my God. Y'all need to watch fucking Community. And real quick before we wrap this up and go to
Popeyes.
check it out.
Popeyes.
Yo, check it out. All right. So if you had one season that you would recommend for someone to start with Community, to get them invested into what Community is and what it represents, what would that be, Ross?
I might have to just off the flip of the spectrum. I might have to say season 3, just because yes, season 2 has a great few. To me, honestly, the best end scenes of all the Community seasons. Season 3 basically is what I would say probably might be the perfect completion of Community. The first Chang Dynasty episode.
Oh yeah.
The origins of vampire mythology, which is
Don't change the way mustard tastes, which is my favorite fucking saying.
pillows and blankets.
And it right before that episode, the Subway episode, it says Civil
Ketchup
War.
don't have vinegar in
It
it.
says Civil War in the library on the episode before the Subway.
And from Russo Brothers.
Studying modern movement, which was when Annie moved into with Abed and
Kissed by a
Troy.
Rose on the Plains. One of my favorite songs of all time. Top 30 for sure.
Foosball and Nocturial, when we find out the truth about Jeff Winger and Shirley's history.
And the anime and Germans with Nick Kroll.
Yes.
And they carry around the soccer ball just for that bit.
Pocket full of Hawthorns, Evans Gay.
Oh, Pierce.
I gotta.
And then they trying to find out who actually was a psychopath out the group because fucking Britta fucked up the fucking test.
I got feet for hands.
And as well as one of Kelsey's other favorite episodes, Remedy Chaos Theory. So,
Word. All right, Ross. Daniel, would you?
Oh, like I said, favorite season is season 5 because when Dan Harmon came back, he came back really hard, and it
Hard
was
like what?
like it
A
was
rock?
it was angry.
Like Dwayne?
Well, it was
Ben
angry.
Graham?
It was angry. He made so many jokes inside of it. The first few episodes about what had happened and that he got shafted, and then he even wrote in that joke for Donald Glover, where he talks about Scrubs and how Zach Braff was only in 6 episodes, and Donald Glover goes, 6 episodes, that son of a bitch, after everything Scrubs did for him. And Donald Glover was only in 5 episodes.
That's true.
That season, just after the Gas Leak season, goes into what it was before, but with an angrier God running your course. Well, Dan Harmon is really good. Him being the angry god he was, that led into season 6, which had arguably the best post-credit scenes. I love it.
Word.
Touche.
Chris, what about yourself?
Me personally, I think season 1, everything, there's a callback to, if you watch the whole series, every season you're going to catch a joke from season 1. And it's one of the best setups for any sitcom, at least in this era of shows. And that's nothing else would have happened without season 1.
True.
Can I give an honorable mention real quick? The Joshua trampoline episode.
Oh my gosh.
Racist Nazis?
Yes, and they're like, it's gonna be a maze when it's done. Some people are just natural jumpers.
That shit was fucking hilarious. For me, that's why me and Ross are trying Abed. It's going to be season 3, regardless. Like, watch this. If you want to watch more, go back to the beginning. This is where it's at. It's apex to me, arguably. Some of the best episodes, some of the best guests, some of the best jokes are here. And you can never really go wrong with any season besides season 4, 6, maybe. But you can't go to the final season and expect to get the whole show either.
Train of it in the morning.
Nights. Will you guys shut the fuck up? I'm trying to sleep in here. Sorry, Annie. Now, I swear to God.
Kettle corn. That's a fun time.
Who's the audience? Why are you doing this shit? Hey, guess what? Buddy, a.k.a. Jack Black, Owen Wilson also pops up in the episode. Mad guest stars. Hey, yo, they set a turtle on fire in the trash can.
Yo, that was Troy and Abed in the mornings. That wasn't nights.
Yo, Allison Brie.
How do you make this kettle corn? Some little butter.
There's no ghosting. I swear to God.
There's a little secret ingredients. Love.
Hey, yo, speaking of fried chicken, the KFC shuttle, that whole episode, that shit's one of the best episodes, too. Like, yo, that shit was so funny. Or when the 8-bit adventure.
That was one of the best.
That's easy.
That was like a Code Monkeys episode.
Yes, exactly. And it worked so
well.
Fucking well. For no damn reason. I'm like, all right.
Oh, he has a half brother?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Because Gustavo Fring was trying to fuck with Pierce.
Subway?
I'm his son. He never acknowledged
Hillary
me.
Duff as a mean girl?
Subway episode when he's just been introduced to the school and then he goes to the old blind man and the blind man goes, Subway, is that you? Like
Paraxis?
he's known him his whole life.
Paraxis! Wow! Yo, alright, so that's Community, guys.
You ain't even getting half of it.
For real, because we could literally talk about this shit all day.
If we talk about this all night, you will still catch new
She's
shit.
a prostitute?
Exactly.
No, that ain't a joke.
He was dating an escort, okay?
Don't eat the crab dip. Yeah,
And he wasn't.
Oh,
I
Pierce
know
ain't
that-
saying nothing. Oh,
I know
yeah,
that the
saying
joke
anything racist in 60 seconds. Watch, bet.
4.
No, he said, I think he said like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like 29 seconds.
So that's
He's
not
like,
your mom?
That's like,
What? So you're not related? What? There it is. Whoop, there it is.
When Pierce was in a band and Annie thought he was defending her honor, or Britta, and then he's just trying to get control of the band.
Yeah.
You know I know what that song.
That Pierce is the B.
Getting rid of Britta.
I'm getting
That's a
ready to be-
She's a GDB.
Goddamn bitch. And he's boobs? And it has nothing to do with her boobs, but it does?
When Abed became the mob boss.
The chicken finger? I dressed up like an Egyptian pharaoh for you. I did that.
Oh,
Lord.
not to mention, most of these episodes have a throwback, homage, some sort of reference to all cult classic movies.
Kick puncher?
Oh!
Against
Somebody would punch him in the dick 'cause he's gay, right?
Dr. Time Space?
Well,
Space
Professor
Time.
Time. Space Time. Constable
Inspector
Reggie.
Space Time.
And Constable Reggie.
Yes.
I just always think it's funny that the inspector can do whatever he wants and Reggie just gets to blow his whistle.
Ew. But now we about to talk about, check it out. This is where we
Check it
recommend
out.
certain series. If you like Community and watch it, or after you watch it, because you heard us talk about it, you want to watch something in that vein, I'm going to just start off real quick and by saying you should definitely check out Cougar Town, starring Courtney Cox. There's a whole subplot about Abed being on Cougar Town, and then when you actually watch Cougar Town, he is literally in the background on the opposite of the episode doing everything he talked about doing when he comes back to community, and it's fucking mind blowing,
And
meta as fuck to all true geeks.
Face
Like
when
me.
it happens, dude.
And just to let y'all know,
I
they
pooped
were
my
on
pants.
2 different networks, and yet
At the
they
time.
did this
And it worked so
so well.
fucking well. Cougar Town.
And my
Like Sable from WWE. Yo, Thundercats are loose. I got that tattoo for a reason. Yo, if you're 46 or up, 60 and them down,
Fuck, that was good.
yo, what happened?
my recommendation would be Parks and Rec. I just happened to love it just at the same time I was watching Community, so it was just like double the laughter. But yeah, it was technically triple because I was watching Cougar Town as well. Chris, what you got?
So I was actually going to give the 2 honorable mentions to The Office and Parks and Rec if you people haven't already watched that show. But throwback to like what I said earlier, the 8-bit episode, Code Monkeys, is a lot of nonsensical humor about this group of people going to code games, working for Steve Wozniak back in the 80s. And it's very similar humor, but it's all the 8-bit animation.
Yeah.
Word. And
Deep
you,
dive that
Daniel,
Code Monkeys.
for real, what about you, Daniel? You got that?
Oh, I guess the one that I would recommend is The IT Crowd. It's a British comedy. It's on Netflix. It's an older one, but it's always worth the rewatch.
The
It's
It
about
Crowd.
2 guys. No, The IT Crowd. They
It,
work in
how do I
IT.
spell?
No, they work in IT.
IT spells it. I get it.
It does?
But it's not the It Crowd. It's the
Basic premise: there's these 2 guys who work in the basement of Renham Industries, and they're the IT guys. And this lady,
Random rectals?
Renham Rectums.
Oh.
What?
Word.
This lady lied on her application or her CV saying she's good with computers. So they're like, oh, you'll go manage the IT group. And they're like, oh, this is a whole cool place. Intersex bathrooms like Ally McBeal. Where's my office? And they put her in the elevator and send her all the way down to the basement. She gets there, has to work with these guys. It's fucking hilarious. Well worth the watch.
We really want to thank you guys for coming back and being patient with us during this whole quarantine. I'm glad you came in and listened to another episode of Yo, Where the Captions At. No rhyme this time. We want to thank Chris with no H for being our guest host today, always and forever. We're going to thank Daniel, the 1-star.
I do it for you guys. And by you guys, I mean Kelsey and Ross.
Word,
Oh,
respect.
fuck me.
And for sure, like, yeah, it's cool. Like, if it's open, it's open. And if there's snow, we sloping.
So I hope y'all have a great night, y'all, and great time. Thank y'all for listening to us.
And always, I'm yours truly, Kels for show.
And I'm always y'all neighborhood black friend, Roscoe.
And when you have a black friend, it's very important that you stick up for your black friend in the hard times where it's not. We have been out there protesting all the wild shit that has been happening recently. And we understand that a lot of shit is not the most positive thing. It's not the most constructive thing. But at the same time, when you're not heard, you have to be heard. You have to do things to get attention back towards you. And I'm not going to condone any violence towards anybody. But at the same time, I understand the need to Fred Durst, break some shit sometime. And until what needs to be fixed is fixed, don't be surprised when this whole place get tore the fuck up. Because this is not the first simulation, guys. It is not.
And just a reminder for people talking about peaceful protests and Martin Luther King having a peaceful protest, just realize when he was alive, he was 75% voted as most hated. He was killed by the people that hated him, and 110 cities rioted for 6 days before we had the Civil Rights Act change in the United States. They just happened right after his death. Happened after people were being heard.
And also, right before he passed, like a year before he passed, he even said, I can't sit here and not say I don't stand with the people rioting. He was very nonviolent, but at the same time, towards the end, he was like, no, I get it. shit ain't happening. I'm not gonna condone you and say you're wrong. I'm like, if the wrongs haven't been righted, we have to do something. I'm gonna sit here and fight for you still. And that's where we're still at 30, 50, 70 years after the fact. So let that seep in. And just remember, good people do good things, and that's who we all should be. Be one or be nothing, y'all. Thank you for listening.